The disappearing night shift guard. Frank Turner was the kind of man people barely noticed. He had no social media, no close family nearby, and a quiet way of speaking that made others lean in to hear him. After retiring early from factory work due to back pain, he took the night shift security job at Silver Gate Storage, a facility that sat alone off a rural highway outside Joplin, Missouri. The place was eerie even in daylight, long rows of metal units stretching into the distance, with the woods pressing tightly behind the property. At night, the only sounds were humming streetlights, buzzing electrical boxes, and the occasional distant truck on the highway. Frank didn't mind. "Peace and quiet," he said. "Best hours of my life." One night in February, Frank radioed the manager at home, something he never did. "Bob, you sure no one's renting Unit 12 or 13? Bob answered, half asleep. "Yeah, both are empty." "Why?" "Thought I saw someone. Tall. Standing still." Bob dismissed it as a shadow or maybe an animal. But he made a mental note. Frank sounded unsettled. The next morning, Bob checked the logbook. Frank had written, 1 a.m., saw a figure but couldn't get a clear look. Moved fast. Should check lights here. 2 a.m., whistling again. Same melody. Not sure if prank or something else. 3 a.m., think something is following me between the rows. Bob shrugged it off, thinking Frank was simply adjusting to night shifts. He would later regret not taking it seriously. Weeks passed, and Frank grew quieter. He walked with a flashlight in one hand and a small notebook in the other. He started avoiding the last row, the one closest to the woods. When asked why, he said, "It feels crowded back there." "Crowded?" "It's empty," Bob joked. Frank didn't laugh. He explained that he sometimes heard footsteps walking parallel to him on the other side of the metal walls. Slow. Heavy. Matching his pace. But whenever he spun around, he saw nothing but cold air and darkness. Then the dogs from a nearby property started behaving strangely. They barked wildly every night at exactly 2:40 a.m., pointing their noses toward the storage facility. One night, Frank wrote in the log, heard knocking from Unit 13. 3 knocks. Regular rhythm. No one inside. But Unit 13 had been empty for 7 months. On April 18, 2014, Frank came to work early, looking unusually pale. Bob asked if he was okay. "Didn't sleep much. Been dreaming of a door." "What door?" Frank shook his head. "Doesn't matter. Just, if anything happens tonight, check Unit 13 first." Bob tried to get more out of him, but Frank simply started his rounds. At 11 p.m., everything was normal. At 1 a.m., he logged, lights flickering in row C again. Hearing movement. At 2:20 a.m., someone whispered my name. Very close. At 2:48 a.m., the security camera caught the last footage anyone would ever see of Frank. He walked down row C, scanning with his flashlight. He paused, sharply turned his head as if hearing someone call out. And stepped off screen. He never came back into view. There were no signs of a struggle. No shadow. No second person. No animal. Just Frank, walking out of the frame. When the morning shift arrived at 6 a.m., Frank's car was still in the parking lot. His keys were on the desk. His coffee was still warm. His flashlight lay on the ground, as though it had fallen mid-step. The police combed the area for hours. Nothing. Dogs brought for search and rescue circled Unit 13 repeatedly, whining and refusing to go near its door. 2 weeks later, Bob opened the abandoned Unit 13 to prepare it for a new renter. That's when he found the message. Despite the heavy dust coating the floor, there were fresh finger marks, dragged through the dust as if written by someone kneeling. It read, "They're not hiding in the dark. They are the dark." Handwriting analysts confirmed it matched Frank's. To this day, no trace of Frank Turner has ever been found. No remains. No clothing. No sightings. The tape from that night was reviewed over 200 times by investigators. Every time, they say the same thing: he walked out of frame, and then he was just gone.